everybody, crafting journey here. That journey chick on Instagram. What are you doing? Oh, the kittens are with us today. Yeah. I think they've been up all night. Okay, I'm seeing, oh, I see a yeah, let me take care of this while I see it. Some empty spots here. How is everybody today? Yes, I'm dressed for work. Yes, gotta go to work. Work. I went to bed early last night because, I don't know, my allergies were kicking up. You know, I was sneezing the whole day, runny nose, so I took some cold medicine. It kind of knocked me out. So I was in bed early. Yep. No worries. But I feel okay today. Yeah. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. Anyway. And I start my physical therapy today for my back. Somebody mentioned that it could be something called seatbelt syndrome. I didn't look that up. Let me look that up. Seat belt syndrome. I did take my car to get an estimate. They don't write it in front of you. They look at all the damage, take pictures, and then they email you the estimate later. I didn't get it yet. It's a collective term that includes all injury profiles associated with the use of seatbelts. Well, duh. It is defined classically as a seatbelt sign, seatbelt marks on the body, plus an intra-abdominal organ injury, in other words, bowel perforation and or thoracic lumbar vertebral fractures. Oh, well, I don't have any of those. So, but it is my thoracic area that was bothering me. It's not bothering me so bad now, you know. But am I going to go do the therapy? Heck yeah. Because, you know, it can't make me any worse. How do I get all these drills everywhere? These just random drills. Anyway, where's my little trash thing? So, it's Wednesday, hump day. Tonight, 6 p.m. Central, I will be doing, in Craft With Me Wednesday, we're going to do some cross stitch. That is very difficult to do on camera, but I'm going to try. I'm going to show you what I've been working on. It's my Alice cross stitch. Tell you what I've got planned for the future, what's been going on. Shaleen's Creativity Room, she will be joining me. That's 6 p.m. Central. She'll show you what she's been working on and what her plans are for the future. Gonna be a good time. Just come and join us and chit chat. If you don't care about cross stitch, it's okay. Just come join us anyway. Yeah, we just talk about, you know, life. Yeah. Somebody says, anybody getting this message? Yeah, I got the message. Let me tell her I got the message. Earth to Sharon. Message received. She must be having phone problems. I'm involved in so many Facebook Messenger groups that I just keep it muted all day, but sometimes I see the things as they come across. Yeah. One is for Zoom links, you know, and I do Zooms at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. So it's nice to have a place to put your link. And one is just a chit chat. I'm not crazy about that one. I might drop that one. I don't know. And what's the other ones? The Animal Crossing one, and then my 90-day step challenge group. So they're all pretty important groups. Yeah, it's just, you know, constant Bing, 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 bing. Yeah, if you don't turn the notifications off, it would drive you crazy. But oh, she said, awesome, I'm on my Delta flight. It said I can message, but I wanted to check. Well, you're now on the morning show, Sharon. Let me tell her. Sharon, you're now part of the morning show. Have a nice flight. So funny. Where is she going? Oh, she's going on a trip to visit some friends. Yeah. Anywho, Sharon has a channel too. What does Sharon call her channel? Let's take a look and find out so we can share. She's pretty new. Well, she's been doing it about a year now, and I met her at the retreat last year, and she's super cute. Really, really sweet lady. Let's see. What does she call herself? I don't know. Am I not subscribed to her? Yes, I am. Oh, looking in the wrong list. That's not my subscription list. Oh my word. Oh, here we go. Oh my word. Well, I don't know what she calls her channel. That's terrible. Oh, let me ask her, because I don't know what she calls her channel. Some people use their name, some people do not. Oh my goodness. Okay. Where is she? Sharon, what's the name of your channel? Okay. Hopefully she got this message on her Delta flight. She probably can send messages but not receive them. How funny. Yes, you can send messages, or she'll probably get these huge bills. Speaking of huge bills, oh my God. I opened the mail yesterday, and I had a bill from the Texas Turnpike people. And I'm thinking, Texas Turnpike? I haven't been to Texas since last October. So, and I said, maybe this is not me, because it's for $46. This is the second late notice. So, oh, she's called the Diamond Lady. Oh, okay. How funny. All right, check out the Diamond Lady. Anyway, so back to the tolls. So I look at, they have a picture of my vehicle. The tag is the same. I even walked out to look at my tag because I said, that's not my tag. It is my tag. I'm like, well, that is me. And I did have this car back in October, and I was in Texas, but it doesn't give the date of the toll that I went through the tolls. It doesn't, but it says that it was $10 originally, then they added a $10 late charge. Now they've added a $25 second late charge. I never got any of these. I never, until yesterday. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. So I'm going to call them today and let them know, hey, I moved, I forwarded all my mail. That somehow did not get forwarded with the U.S. mail. Decided that's something they didn't want to forward, I guess. Are they still going to make me pay it? Probably. $46. Stay out of Texas. But I do want to confirm that it's that it was from back in October. It had to have been. And this, it's almost October again, for heaven's sakes. Can you believe that? I know, it's always something. So, of course, I was up at 5 o'clock this morning, wide awake, playing with the kittens. I think the kittens were up all night, because I don't remember them coming to bed. They're in their teenage phase, where they like to play video games all night. My teenagers like to run around the house and wreak havoc all night, unless they were sleeping out on their, they love that cat tree that I have. Yeah. So you guys down in South Florida, please, or South Florida, Florida, anywhere in Florida, please stay safe, shelter, you're going to get some bad storms, lots of rain, and I feel for you. I've been there, done that many times. It's not fun. I don't know if this thing turned into a hurricane or not, but yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. Totally get that. All right, we're gonna go with a different container here. Now I'm feeling tired. Now that I mentioned when I got up, I feel tired. Since he's barking at something. Oh my goodness. All right. It is National Dive Bar Day. Do, 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 do. So this is sponsored by Seagram 7. Today is July 7th, so 7/7. So have some Seagram 7. Make yourself a 7 and 7 at the local dive bar or your favorite dive bar. Dive bars should hopefully bring back some fond memories for you. Did you ever have a dive bar that you would go to? When I got out of high school, I moved to live near my mother. I didn't live with her. I had a mobile home on the property next to where she lived. I rented it. But I would go out and hang out in this dive bar, and it was truly a dive bar. Dive bars are like these places that are out in these little small towns in the middle of nowhere, but the locals, hang out there nights and weekends, and everybody. You go in there, everybody. The gossip's running rampant. Who left with whom, and I remember those. I don't go to bars anymore, dive or otherwise. But did you have a favorite dive bar, or do you have a favorite dive bar that you just go to every now and then? Yeah. Where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came, right? Except when your mother shows up. No, my mother didn't go to the bar. I'm just kidding. She could have, but she didn't. And then my girlfriends and I, we'd get dressed up, because this was a very small town that I lived in after high school. Very small town. So in Florida, and we would get dressed up, and then we would drive to the local college town. I forget how far away it was, but we would drive over there, and we went to this place where mostly we didn't drink a lot, but it was so fun to dance there. They would have a live band on the weekends, and we would dance and flirt, and it was fun. Were we old enough to go in that bar? I think we were. Yeah, we must have been. Because drinking age in Florida is 18, so I must have been old enough. But yeah, always so much fun dancing. Yeah. Dive bar day. I think it's more interesting that it's 7/7. 7/7/21. So I'm working on the bottom portion of this painting. So you can see this up here is the top. We're making our way. What's today? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have a week, 8 days to get the rest of this done. And we have how many sections? 8 sections. 8 sections. If I could do a section a day, I could finish it. Let's see. What I've been doing is coming out here, because cats don't really bother me here. So I come out here, diamond paint, listen to the trial, or I finished I think it's the 4th Briggerton book. It's the one where Penelope and Colin finally get together. Colin Briggerton. And she becomes Mrs. Colin Briggerton. I'm not giving anything away. That was a foregone conclusion from book 1. So I think the next book is Eloise. So I have purchased that. Well, I get, yeah, I did purchase it. I get a book, an Audible book every month. Um, so my next Audible book is that one. Though I think it's the Eloise one. What's it called? Um, I don't know how many books there are in this series, but I'm really enjoying it. There's some really steamy scenes in these in these books. Not a lot, but just enough, some knee knock in there. Back in that day and time, yeah. Knee knocking. Here's my library. Library. Oh, it's called. Is that the one? To Sir Philip with Love. Because, yeah, Eloise falls in love with a guy named Philip Crane. So, is that it? To Sir Philip with Love? Yeah, that's the next one. So the one I just finished is Romancing Mr. Briggerton. So Romancing Mr. Briggerton is the one with Colin and Penelope. And then the next one that I'm going to read is Eloise. So this Briggerton family, they were named alphabetically. So the first book was actually Daphne, she was the D. Then they went to Anthony, which is the A. Then they went to the B brother, I forget his name. And then now the fourth book was Colin. Now the fifth book is Eloise. I don't know why they did Daphne first, but anyway. Then there's Francesca, and then there's Hyacinth. So that's at least two more books. And then there's another brother, I think. So at least three more books. Yeah. Yeah, and it's really funny because when Daphne, the book for Daphne, all these people, these books travel over time. So, Daphne gets married. So by the time Colin and Penelope get married, Daphne's been married 10 years. So all of these younger siblings are now growing up. So that by the time we get to their book, they're at, the knee-knocking age, so to speak. All right, enough about the Briggertons. And if you haven't had a chance to watch the Briggertons on Netflix, it does cover the first book, the book about Daphne, and it is really, I've watched it twice, really good. For me to go back and watch something a second time, it has to be really good. I would watch it a third or fourth time, really. I love the actors in that. The guy that plays the Duke, oh, so hot. Oh my God, so hot. Anyway, I digress. Yes. That's the book portion of the show. Let's get to Judge, Jury, and Journey. It's what you've all been waiting for. Okay, come on, turn that drill over. It flipped. It flipped. All right, get the tweezers out. Tweezers. Flip it. This glue is so sticky. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get out my notes. All righty. So, the first person to take the stand, well, all right, we're on day 2. All right. First person to take the stand is the father of the defendant. And I mispronounced her. Her last name is not E-R-M, it's E-A-M. They're Filipino, I think. Filipino or I think they're Filipino. Yeah, I could be wrong. But so the father takes a stand, and on behalf of the state, how sad. He must have been really upset to have to testify against his daughter, but he didn't have a lot to say. What he said was that on the night that this all occurred, I mean, it occurred after midnight, but the night before, the evening before, she had been home. Then when they got up the next morning, she was gone. And yes, I think more so he was on the stand to established the fact that she did drive a white Toyota Corolla. So, and he did testify to that, but he said when they got up the next morning, she wasn't there. So I think they had called over to her boyfriend's house, James Barry's house, no answer. So he decides he's going to go over there. He knows that that's where, she would probably be. So he goes over there. He sees all the police. He gives a statement to police. He finds out what's going on. His daughter's not there. He gives a statement to police that she has relatives in Maryland, which is where she was eventually found. So she fled and went to Maryland. Yeah, interesting case. So that was really the bulk of his testimony. And then they put on a computer analyst. Now this is one of these guys that's all he does is analyze computers, cell phone records. He talked about the Cellbrite program that we're all familiar with, that you can either make a copy of the phone, or you can get everything that's in the cloud and everything. But she had an Android, so he had to figure out how to, because there's so many different Androids. They all have different kind of systems. So he was able to do that. He was able to copy everything in her phone. And it showed a lot of incoming calls from James and outgoing from her. But really why he was on the stand was to establish that there are certain programs or messaging applications that Cellbrite just cannot crack. I mean, these things are encrypted, and they cannot, Cellbrite doesn't have the technology as of yet to unencrypt these things and figure out what people are saying. So one of them is called WhatsApp. So if you want to commit a murder and you want to talk to your partner about it, your co-conspirator, talk on WhatsApp, because they haven't figured that out yet. And I do have that application, WhatsApp. It's interesting though. Although I find that when people send me pictures, those pictures go into my photo gallery. Because they would send. I would have friends these British guys. I was gaming, and we would all communicate by WhatsApp when we were gaming. And these British guys that I played games with, they would send me these funny memes and stuff, and some of them were some risque. And then I'd be going through my photos, and I would see these things, and I'd be like, delete. Yeah. So WhatsApp, and then another one of them is when you communicate while you're playing computer games. And they were playing, and the father did say that yes, she was a gamer. So we can surmise that she was also playing League of Legends from her house. So within the game, you can talk to other people. You message back and forth to other people. I played, World of Warcraft and Elder Scrolls, most of these MMO, massive multi-online player games, you can talk to the other players in game. All of that is encrypted. It's not saved anywhere. It's just not something that Cellbrite has developed or is even focusing on developing ways to crack that. It would just be massive and cumbersome, and it's just, so that's what this computer guy was trying to get across to the jury, is there's just no way to ever probably find out what was said between these two. Yeah. So then we get, they put Guy Hand on the stand. Now Guy is, I think I told you yesterday, the defense's theory of the case is that Guy Hand, which is James's mother, Nicola, so Nicola's boyfriend, Guy, and he's been living in this home for 3 years. And he's very fond of James. He was a very nice, well-dressed, put together guy. He does welding. He said he used to be a butcher, which will come into play later on. um, so he was familiar with Melanie. He said she spent a lot of time there at the home. She would spend the night several times a week. So he was very familiar with her. He said she had full access to the home, meaning she probably had a key to get in. Well, she did have a key, apparently. Because one of the things he said is before he goes to bed, and that night he went to bed about 11, he locks all the doors. So she must have unlocked the door and let herself in. Because we also know that at that particular time of night, or at the time of night she came over, James was in his room playing League of Legends, and Jeff, his best friend, was in the bed sleeping. So, all right. So he says, for dinner, his wife cooked a pork roast. They were going to have pulled pork. So when the pork, so then they, while the roast is cooking, they go over and they sit and relax and watch some TV. And then when the pork is done, he has this huge knife, and he described it as being like, he said it's like a 13-inch blade. It's a knife that he brought into the home that he had when he was a butcher. He said it has a white blade. It's called a Dexter, or that's the brand, Dexter, a white handle. And so he said he would always be the one to go in and cut up the roast. So he goes in and he cuts up the roast. And he says he always, anytime he used that knife, he would clean it and then immediately afterwards and put it away. So he said that was his usual practice. Now, he doesn't remember doing it this time, but he says that's my usual practice. I'll usually always clean it and put it away. So then they decided to go to bed about 11. Him and Nicola go to bed. He doesn't remember if she was wearing earplugs or not. He doesn't remember. He said he wears to bed. He just wears boxers to bed. He doesn't wear any shirt. Now, Jeff, as you recall, testified that he saw him with a white shirt on, but his memory was very bad because there was so much going on. He was woke up out of a sound sleep to his friend who was bleeding to death. So I don't blame him if his memory is deceiving him. Anyway, so he said Guy had said he took a half of Valium and then he went to bed. And he said, yes, it was my Valium, it was my prescription, and he took it because he had taken a nap that day, and so he wanted to sleep that night. So he took the half of Valium, he went to sleep, and he was woke up out of a sound sleep because he heard someone screaming, call 911, call 911. So he woke up. His wife woke up too at the same time. His girlfriend woke up at the same time. He throws on a pair of pants, and then he gets as he's approaching his bedroom door, which is closed, he says his wife or his girlfriend Nicola is right behind him. So they both depart the door. He's the first one to go out the door. He says as he immediately looks to his right down the hallway, and he sees Jeff and James, and he sees that James is bleeding profusely. So he goes towards the bedroom. Nicola goes to call 911. Then at that point he said that James was kind of kneeling towards the floor, leaning on the bed, not really on the floor, but just sort of leaning up against the bed. So Nicola comes back and she's got dispatch on the phone, and he said that when he walked into that room, Jeff was trying to give him mouth to mouth while he was in that position. Now, he had CPR training. He said he gets CPR training every year. So the dispatcher's saying, get him on a flat surface and start doing chest compressions. So they put him on the bed, and start doing chest compressions. Now, the defense attorney makes a big deal out of this. You had CPR and you don't know that you're not supposed to do CPR on a bed. It has to be on a hard, flat surface. He said, listen, I heard flat surface. The dispatcher said, get him on a flat surface. I put him on a flat surface. Nobody said hard, flat surface. So the defense attorney was a little obnoxious. But what really happened that was interesting in this trial is in the middle of Guy Hand's testimony, when he's describing how he's doing the CPR and the blood is gushing, and every time he would do a chest compression, the blood would gush, all of a sudden a juror stands up and goes, starts waving his hand. Now, I didn't see this. I just surmised that that's how he got the judge's attention, because the judge immediately said, we've got to stop. We've got to get the jury out of here. So now everybody's going, what the hell's going on? So he said, and the juror's name was Mr. Christensen. He said, get Mr. Christensen whatever he needs, find out what's going on with him. So apparently this poor juror had an anxiety attack listening to this. And so they apparently, because they come back about a half hour later, they come back and the judge says, Mr. Christensen had an anxiety attack. We've calmed him down. We took all the jurors outside to get some fresh air. But so the judge says to the lawyers, what do you guys want to do? And so they said, well, it's 11:30. Why don't we, because the guy had said, Mr. Christensen had told the judge, I can't do this anymore. No, I can't be a juror anymore. This is just going to happen again. So, and I'm feeling really lousy after this anxiety attack. So the judge asked the lawyers, what do you want me to do? So the lawyers say, well, let's just go for an early lunch and see how he feels when he comes back. So they bring him in after lunch. They bring him in privately into the courtroom, and now the camera's showing him, because it's clear he's not going to be a juror anymore. And it was an older gentleman, maybe in his 60s, and he just said to the judge, listen, I'm feeling a little better now, but I can tell you that this is triggering me. This is bringing out some real anxiety in me, and it's just going to happen again. I just can't continue. I can't listen to this, which I thought was really interesting. Then we find out that they only had one alternate, and apparently there was a big snafu during jury selection. That when they picked the alternate, they had picked Mrs. Green or Ms. Green to be the alternate. So apparently in the pool of jurors, there were two Ms. Greens. They were both black females, about the same body type. So the wrong Mrs. Green comes up and takes the seat, gets sworn in as a juror. Nobody realizes it. The judge doesn't realize it. None of the attorneys realize that this is the wrong Mrs. Green. So they don't realize it until day one of the jury trial. All of a sudden it dawns on somebody that this is not the correct Mrs. Green. But now it's too late. She's already been sworn as a juror. They can't go back and get the other Mrs. Green. So the judge explains they said, if we let this guy go home, then we have to use her on the jury. And the state is saying, had we known this was her, we would have used our challenge on her. We don't want her on the jury. So, and then the judge explains to the state that if he declares a mistrial now, because of something, mistake that they didn't pick up on, they can't try this woman again. It would be double jeopardy. She would go free. So the defense attorney's just kind of letting this all play out. So finally the state says, okay, we'll let us sit as a juror. We'll agree to it. But the drama there was it was real drama. Because you could see it was just so funny. You could see the audience when the judge said, that they were going to let her go free if he had to declare, if he had to say that it was a mistrial because of an error on their part, she would go free. The people in the pews were like, there was like this gasp among the crowd. So, so they were able to bring back the jury with the alternate now as a juror, and Guy was finished his testimony. It was so interesting, so interesting, and I was glad that the camera caught it all. Anyway, let's see what else he testified to. So, so he said that there was approximately a 2-inch cut on his collarbone. So when he was giving him CPR, which is, right here, your chest compressions, he said he was also trying to, like cover the wound. He did say that he watched the life go out of his eyes, that he felt like it took forever. He said he kept hollering that he needed help. I need help. Where are they? It took forever for the paramedics to get there. He said he was barefooted with no shirt. It was the first cold snap of the season. So he says when the rescue team did get there, that they told everybody, you have to leave. You have to get out of the house. This is a murder scene. But he believes that they continued resuscitation. And I think they probably did make an attempt at resuscitation, and it was futile. At that point, he had no pulse, and it was clear he had bled out. He did say that he saw the knife at the foot of the bed, and it was on the floor. He picked it up, and when he walked in the room, at some point he picked it up and put it on the bed. But then on his way out, he saw the knife at the foot of the bed. He picked it up and took it into the kitchen and set it on the counter. Now, the defense attorney made this huge big deal about how he had destroyed evidence and what are you trying to hide? And he's like, nothing. Well, I just picked it up from one room and took it into another room. I'm not trying to hide anything. So, yeah. So that was that testimony. So the next person to testify is going to be James Barry's mother, the murder victim's mother. So that should be some interesting testimony as well. We'll hear what she has to say tomorrow. Yep. Okay. Back to diamond painting. I get so involved in these trials. This one, I didn't realize this one was going to be as interesting as it really is, so especially if you're a fan of computer games like I am. Who would break up with their girlfriend through a computer game? Oh my word. Okay, so let's go to this day in history. Okay, so this day we're going to go what happened on July 7th in history. We're going to do some quickies today. So, the Roswell UFO Incident happened on July 7th, 1947. Major Jesse Marcel and head of the Roswell Army Counterintelligence Corps, Sheridan Covet, go to the William Mack Brazil's ranch and retrieve what they believe is debris from a UFO crash. Later on, they said it wasn't a UFO crash. On July 7th, 1993, a woman named Margaret Ray is arrested for the 8th time. She was stalking David Letterman. I don't know if you guys remember David Letterman. Oh my God, he had the best show. This was the 8th time she was trespassing on his property. Previously, she'd been arrested when she would break into his home, sleep in his bedroom, one time she stole his Porsche. Crazy. Yeah. So she's arrested for the 8th time. Poor David Letterman. Oh my God. I wonder what finally happened to her. Talk about crazy. Wow. And what else? Well, the first woman to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court, July 7th, 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor, is nominated by U.S. President Ronald Reagan, and she's sworn in the following September. Yay for women. Yes. Women on the Supreme Court. We need more of those. Yes. All right. Got another stray here. All right, guys. Like I said, I gotta go to work. Yep. Oh, and then I have physical therapy today. Yes, so it's a long day, and then I come home from physical therapy, and I've got my show to do tonight. Tune in for that. It's going to be a good one. We might even, do some enabling tonight. You never know when you watch my show. There's all kinds of enabling going on. So, I'm just looking at this. The Virtual Oz UFO Conference, June 5th through the 6th. Find out what is going on with UFOs, Sasquatch, and other strange phenomena. Now that's one you don't want to miss. Except June has already happened. I don't know why they're advertising it now. How funny. I guess you can still attend the virtual conference and find out what's going on with Sasquatch. I get the funniest stuff up on my iPad. So what's happening with the iPad? I'm still on the wait list. I checked it today. I'm still on the wait list for QVC for an iPad. But I was very surprised that I got a donation for to go towards my iPad. Thank you so much. It's very, very much appreciated. Any donations that go towards supporting the channel are always deeply appreciated. And thank you. Love you. So guys, have a great day. Should I finish this color? I'm almost finished with this color. So I want to finish this section tonight. Try to do another section because we're at 8 days, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 9 days. So I have time to finish this section and start another section. Okay, I'll be good. I'm obsessing over this. Okay, I love you all. Take care. Let me know in the comments if you're part of the mystery diamond painting. Have you gotten your diamond painting? Is it ordered? Is it on the way? Have you got it? Let me know what's going on. I love you all. I will see you tonight in Craft With Me Wednesday or tomorrow in the morning show.